Meteorologist Mike Joyce here, live on Ohio News and Weather here on a Monday night with another update on storms that are rolling through the region. In fact, we have a really strong thunderstorm that is now impacting Athens County that is bringing some significant concerns. So let's take a look at what is going on right now. Right here, you see Athens County, which has a good deal of heavy precipitation going all the way from Corning through Nelsonville, Chansey, Athens, Albany, you name it. Pretty much anywhere along US 33 in Athens County, you are under the gun for this severe thunderstorm. But what might be even more concerning at the moment is the flash flood warning that is in effect for central Athens County. And we are estimating, getting some radar estimation that we may have seen up to 3 inches of rain within the last half hour or so out of this storm. And you can see exactly where it is. And additional rainfall amounts of half an inch to an inch and a half are certainly possible. So we could be adding much more. And I also want to point out this area right here where you're seeing the deep purple and even that little black pixel on your screen. That is where we might even have some very large, some large hail occurring. So this is between Amesville and Jacksonville. So this will be due east of Nelsonville on State Route 329. And this is a very hilly area of the state, if you're not familiar with Southeast Ohio, which is often more susceptible to flash flooding because of the rain rolling down the hills into the valleys. So this is a serious situation. So if you're in Athens County, if you're in Morgan and even western Washington County where this storm is heading, then you really do need to be in your safe spot. I'm going to try to draw here a storm track here. And as I work on getting that done, I will try to get that here for you very quickly. But let's see if we can do that here. Manual storm track. Here we go. The storm is moving east at 20 miles an hour. So if we track it, these are the locations that the storm is going to be in at the time we're expecting it. So if you're in Coolville, that's Athens County right along US 50, State Route 32, on the Ohio River there. It's going to be there in about 7:51. So heading into Washington County around 8:07. We're looking at Belpre at 8:22, Parkersburg, West Virginia, if we have anyone watching from there, 8:23, Marietta at 8:35, Belmont at 9:08, and St. Mary's at 9:16. So that is how much time you have until this storm is on top of you. So really be looking out for this very strong thunderstorm that is causing some major issues in Athens and Morgan and Washington counties. We are monitoring to see if we have any damage reports at the moment. I don't believe I have anything in at the exact moment, but we will be keeping an eye on that. Let's see. Do we have any comments? Okay. Yeah, I do believe this thunderstorm warning might have been issued a tad late, but we were also kind of watching this storm really develop very quickly. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Athens, Morgan, and Washington County. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to, let me get that timing for you here. That is going to run until 8:15. So we still have about about 38 minutes until that expires at 8:15. And then the flash flood warning, which is honestly probably a bigger concern that I have right now. The flash flood warning is going to be until 10:30 tonight. So we're talking 3 more hours of concerns with this storm as it leaves behind nearly 3 inches of rain in some spots. So not a great situation. Not only that, but large hail is possible, especially up here in Morgan County, southern Morgan County. So that's going to be Chester Hill, State Route 555, State Route 377. And then this will move into Washington County, which is a large county when it comes to space, not large population, although Marietta is a largely populated area. But still, we care about everybody in the path of this storm, so we want to make sure that folks are getting some adequate warning here. So again, this is Washington County that it's about to move into. Here's southern Morgan County. And then here is Athens County still being impacted. So still raining pretty heavily in Athens right now. Coolville, you have a few minutes. You are low lying. So that is going to be something to consider. Hey, Nick, I've got you on the phone here. What's up?
No, there is a destructive warning now for that area. I would stay on for a little bit if you can.
Okay. And that's okay. I did put you on speaker since I am streaming. But I'll get. But thank you for that. Thank you for that update, and we will stick with it. All right. Thank you. Bye.
And also for WSV, the warnings are not popping up there. You might want to switch back over to radar.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening either. I've been having trouble with WSV3 all day. But I'll switch over to Omega and see if we can't do that a little bit here. All right, sounds good. Thank you. All right, bye. All right, so what that was just a little update on our technology. We are having a little bit of trouble with our radar today, as you can tell. If you were watching our stream earlier, you might have noticed that certain things were not popping up properly. So we're going to switch over to Radar Omega here. This will probably be able to give us a better look at this storm, which we do have a new update for you on that severe thunderstorm warning. The National Weather Service has upgraded this to a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, meaning that it's likely that this storm is producing 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Yes, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So if you are in Morgan, Washington, and northeastern Athens County, you really do need to be in your safe spot. This is a very rural area of the state. It's a very hilly part of the state that's susceptible to flash flooding, downed trees and power lines, and there is not an easy road network to get around like in northwestern parts of the state where it's flat and there's a grid road network. Not in this part of the state. Of course, all the folks that live there would know that, but I just want to, for those of you who are watching, maybe you have relatives or some people staying at the state parks in the region, in the Wayne National Forest, this would be something to be very concerned about. So again, this is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, meaning that this storm is producing 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and it is a serious situation. I am going to switch back over to our other radar very briefly, just because I want to put a storm track on it for us here, so we can get some times on when this storm is going to arrive in certain places. We're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put our storm tracker on. The storm is moving east at 20 miles per hour, so it's moving very slowly. That contributes to the flash flooding threat. The slower storms move, the longer the rain dumps on one spot, and it looks like we got ourselves a little radar update there. All right, so here's our timing. We're looking at Belpre at 8:31, Marietta 8:39, and we have some other locations. Parkersburg, West Virginia at 8:33, Lubeck at 8:25, Beverly should be 8:09. So Beverly is right here and right along the Morgan and Washington County line there. So again, I just wanted to show you guys that on our other radar. But if I switch back over to the Radar Omega, which is our other radar product here we go. I can actually show you where that severe thunderstorm warning is. So it's this orange jagged polygon here. So Athens is right here. So the worst of this storm is now in eastern Athens County, moving into Washington and Morgan County. And we are seeing some of these locations being impacted by some very strong winds. So that's where you can see the area that's most likely to see the destructive 80-mile-per-hour wind. All right, so back to our other radar, because I think this radar will give us a good view of where these winds are right now. So let me switch over to what we call velocity mode. Now, velocity mode will tell us where the strongest winds are. And honestly, the velocity mode is not as not showing the strong signatures I was expecting it to. But that does not mean that we are in the clear. In fact, what I'm thinking here is that we are seeing right where I'm drawing this line here is where that 80-mile-per-hour wind threat is. So again, places that could be under the gun for that 80-mile-per-hour destructive severe thunderstorm wind. We've got Beverly, Lowell, Dexter City. These are very small towns, not very populated, but we again do want to make sure that everyone is safe here. And a serious situation, and it's moving slowly, only about 20 miles per hour. So as it moves slowly, we are not going to be being able to get this rain out of here quickly. So we could be having a flash flooding threat with this. So we are very, very concerned about these again, rural, hilly parts of the state, a lot of trees that could be in jeopardy of collapsing in an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. This is a serious situation. I would treat it with a similar level of concern as you would for a tornado warning. Now, we're not expecting a tornado. The conditions are not right for tornadoes today, but they are certainly right for very destructive straight-line winds, which are very good at bringing trees down, especially in these heavily wooded areas. And a lot of homes are surrounded by very large trees in this part of the state. So something to be considered. Please take this situation very seriously. And if you live in a mobile home, if you have a shelter that is not your mobile home, I would go to that shelter much like you would during a tornado warning, because again, we could be seeing damage that is equivalent to a low-end tornado, which is still very significant. And again, right now it's going to be moving through eastern Athens, Morgan, and western Washington County, and it's moving east-northeast now at about 20 miles per hour. Some times on that again for you. Beverly, 8:31, Stockport, 8:07, Chester Hill, 7:55. You've got about 8. I would even give yourself more time. If I give you a time, think maybe 5 minutes earlier, because sometimes the wind gusts can be ahead of the main precipitation in some of these situations. Small hail threat in Morgan County and eastern Athens County at this time. Our radar is detecting a hail probability of about 80% here and about 90% in southern Morgan County. So this is heading into Washington County and even Noble County, portions of Noble County. So that is up here. So that's Caldwell, Macksburg. Those are locations that need to be in their safe spot as well. All right, let me go back over to the Radar Omega product just to show exactly the areas highlighted by this destructive thunderstorm. So right here we have Washington County, we have Morgan County, and northern Athens County. Now, also of concern, we have this green area right here in central Athens County, including the city of Athens, that is under a flash flood warning due to some spots receiving 3 inches of rain very, very quickly with this slow-moving storm. So we've got a double threat. We've got destructive wind possible, a lot of trees and power lines possibly coming down. We have damage to mobile homes and not very solid structures. That may be an issue. And then the flooding, because of the hilly area that this is. Places like along the Hocking River, even the Ohio River, and some of the smaller streams may be impacted by this. So a serious situation in southeastern Ohio, specifically Morgan, Washington, and Athens County right now. And it's moving east at 20 miles per hour. So we are concerned about it. But yes, so if anyone is in Noble County, you are not in the severe thunderstorm warning right now. But if the storm continues its path forward, I would be very, very mindful of this in Noble County. This is going to be south of Caldwell. as our fellow Ohio News and Weather forecasters have indicated in the chat. It would be the southern part of Noble County, south of Caldwell, so along I-77. So, yeah, this could be a serious situation for truckers and high-profile vehicles driving perpendicular north-south on I-77 right now. So we are concerned about that. We'll be watching that very carefully as it approaches the I-77 corridor here really quickly, and the city of Marietta, which is not technically in the warning, but it's just outside the warning. And if you're in Marietta, Maxburg, anywhere just to the east, I would be getting ready to be in your safe spot. So again, flash flood warning. That's going to run until 10:30 tonight for Central Athens County due to really rapid water rise and flooding. And with everything going on in the world of weather right now, especially the flash flooding we heard about in Texas, the tragedy out there. We really, really want to take flash flooding very carefully. That's what the flash part of flash flooding means. Is it rises in a flash. So we are certainly concerned about that. So as you can see on your screen there, the National Weather Service has indicated the threat for 80-mile-per-hour wind and the damage threat destructive. That is the highest language that the National Weather Service uses in their severe thunderstorm warnings to detail how much damage a storm can do. This is a serious situation heading into, really it's on top of Morgan County right now, but it's moving into Washington and possibly southern Noble County soon enough. Even though Noble's not in the warning, I would still be kind of keeping your eye on things if you're along I-77 south of Caldwell down in Noble County, something to certainly look out for. But again, northern Washington, city of Marietta, you're not in the warning, but you're pretty dang close, so I would certainly keep an eye on things there. So, yes, this is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And let me see if I can get any other updates from the Weather Service on this one. This severe thunderstorm warning. All right, I think the National Weather Service may have downgraded it back to a regular severe thunderstorm warning again. Yes, that is the data I'm getting. Still, though, that is a severe thunderstorm warning is still a serious situation that everyone should pay very close attention to in this case. All right, I'm going to go back over to our other radar feed here really quick, the WSV3, and see if we can't get a look at things here and see how the wind is moving. So it looks like the storm is, starting to show some signs of maybe splitting a little bit. So what I mean by that is if you look at the radar loop back here, we saw it as one cluster of storms back when it was near Nelsonville, and now it's starting to have a strong side of the storm that's heading towards Coolville and Parkersburg, but then a strong part of the storm that's moving up into Morgan and northern Washington County with maybe a weaker part in the middle. So it does appear to be weakening a little bit, so I think that's why the National Weather Service has elected to get rid of the destructive tag on that severe thunderstorm warning, but still very serious, and it's still going to run until 8:15. It has picked up speed, so that's good. Meaning that the flooding threat will be lower when a storm is moving faster. In fact, it's now increased its forward speed to 40 miles per hour. So it was moving at 20, now it's moving at 40. That is the updated storm information that I have you right now. All right, so let's see. Is Chansey okay? Yes, you are out of the worst of it. So hopefully you will be, that'll provide some peace of mind in northwestern Athens County, so right along US 33 there. Nelsonville should be in much better shape now too, as should be the city of Athens. Although, even though the rain is getting better in Athens, Athens is still under the the flash flooding threat until about 10:30, with that flash flood warning staying on until then. So, all right, here's kind of a overall look of what's going on. The storm appears to be weakening a little, but still it has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. It has a history of a destructive 80-mile-per-hour storm. Lately, it seems to have gotten a little bit better, still producing the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So your threat in western Washington, southern Morgan, and even southern Noble County is still going to be going on for quite some time. All right, let me go ahead and pause the radar for you really quick and draw that storm track. Let's see if I can't draw that for you here. Manual storm track. Not sure why the manual storm track isn't working right now. Been having trouble with this radar today. I'm not really sure why. But let's see. Draw manual track. Let's see. All right. Draw manual. I don't know. Either way, it's moving at double the speed that it was. So that should hopefully reduce the flash flooding. All right, let's zoom out. I know we've had questions about other parts of the state. So why don't we take care of that really quick? We'll turn on Wilmington's radar here. Okay, there it is. The storm track popped up. All right, we'll zoom back on that in a second. It was just being slow. As you can see, there's really not much going on outside of southeastern Ohio right now. We do have a small area of heavy rain in western Greene, far northwestern Fayette, and far southwestern Madison County, but that doesn't seem to be too concerning. We also have some light showers with some brief downpours near Dearborn County, Indiana, heading towards Cincinnati, but I don't think that's going to be a huge problem, at least right now. And then up in northeastern Ohio, things have cleared out quite a bit, other than this one storm out in Mercer County, PA, that it does seem to be bringing some heavy rain over there. So that's what's going on. Like I said, the main threat right now is for this severe thunderstorm in eastern Athens, western Washington, and southern Morgan County until 8:15 this evening. I'm going to wait here for some updates from the Weather Service here. If this does seem to be weakening a little bit, which I think the trend is leaning towards, then we may decide to take a little break here on the stream. But we do want to make sure everyone in the area is informed, and I do want to make sure that everyone is aware of not only the wind and hail threat, but also the flash flood warning that is still in effect for central Athens County. Those do not go away as fast. So that severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect that flash flood warning is going to be in effect until 10:30 tonight. The severe thunderstorm warning, that's your orange box right here, that will be running until 8:15. So again, spots that are impacted by 60-mile-per-hour wind and some small hail, certainly some heavy rain and a lot of lightning, are going to be the towns of Waterford, Stockport, Watertown. Those are Stockport's in Morgan County. Waterford and Watertown are in Washington County. These are very rural areas of Washington and Morgan counties, but we still know some folks live there, so it's really important to get the word out. Noble County, south of Caldwell, you're not in the warning, but I would still be keeping an eye on this, as this storm has had a nasty history. It's on top of Coolville right now, so probably very rainy and windy there along US 50 in southern Athens County. And then the city of Marietta, while you're not technically in the warning, you may as well consider yourself in the warning because you are really right next to it. And this storm is going to impact Marietta either with some heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and maybe some wind as well. Parkersburg, West Virginia, If we have anybody watching from Parkersburg or Belpre, I would also be very mindful of this storm away from windows. If you live in a mobile home, maybe a good idea to find some more substantive shelter. So that would be Parkersburg. Again, Parkersburg is not in the warning, but this storm is heading your way. The portion of the storm that's near Coolville right now. Certainly not very far. All right, so that's the flash flood warning. We're going to keep an eye on things there. Let me see if I've got any more updates from our partners. All right. 0 reports of damage so far. Okay, we actually do have, never mind, we do have a new report that just came in, so very fresh. Trees down near Casler Creek Road near Amesville. So Amesville, let me try to get that on the screen here. So that I believe is here in Athens County. All right, let me try to... Yeah, Amesville here. It's not popping up on our radar. But yes, I believe we have a report of Casler Creek Road near Amesville that we have some trees down. I do anticipate that we will have probably many trees down as well. Thankfully, this severe thunderstorm warning is no longer considered a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, but the threat for wind, and it seems like the hail threat is diminished too. But also flash flooding continues through immediately in the next 15 minutes. But in Athens County, the flash flood warning will continue until 10:30 tonight. So, all right, I'm gonna give you guys all one more loop of what's going on across the state. Boy, my computer is not liking me today. All right, here we go. So, state of Ohio, right here. The only area of concern right now is far southeastern Ohio. That includes Athens, that will be under a flash flood warning until 10:30, and it includes Morgan, Washington, and basically Morgan and Washington County at this point until 8:15 for a wind and heavy rain threat. The storm has picked up speed a little bit, so that's good news. But everywhere else in the state is fine. So if you live anywhere else in the state, I am not concerned about severe weather this evening. Maybe just a couple of brief showers, but that's it. The only part of the state right now that we're concerned about severe weather is down here in Morgan and Washington County. And it's now pretty much exiting Athens County at this time. So, yeah, I'm just trying to take a look at some damage. All right. Sky looks dark in Belpre. Wood County, West Virginia. I would watch out for storms in Wood County, West Virginia, but right now you're not in an immediate severe weather threat there. That said, the storm back near Coolville could be an issue. It's not currently warned for a severe thunderstorm down in that portion of our coverage area, but it does have a history of that, so we'll just want to keep an eye on it. All right, I'm going to switch back over to our other radar here really quick. Really quick, just one more storm track. Again, I do believe it is moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour, so it's moving a bit more quickly than it was before. We'll put those times on the screen here. It's pretty much on top of Beverly right now. Blennerhassett at 8:11, Lubeck at 8:11, Belpre 8:16, Parkersburg 8:17, and then Marietta, it looks like at 8:21. And then beyond that, we'll have to see. I think it'll kind of weaken a little bit as we head into the nighttime hours, which, well, we're still an hour until sunset. It's only 8:03. This time of year, we still have let's see, sunset is at 9:03. So we're still an hour away from sunset, but the sunlight is diminishing regardless. And it does appear to me that this storm looks a little bit weaker than it did about 20 minutes ago, so that's good news. Still a major threat, though. So, Waterford is currently between 20 to 35 mil, heavy rain and thunder. Okay, thank you, Darren. I really appreciate your report. That's very helpful. All right, good. It's good. That's still a lot of wind and rain. Don't get me wrong. It's serious, but it's not 80 miles per hour. That is, I'm glad that you're not experiencing that. We certainly would not want that to happen. All right, so this severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire here in about 10 minutes. Let's see here if we have any other updates. I'll check my multiple sources. Nothing new at the moment. Let's see. All right. I do not have any other reports, so that's good news. Hopefully it stays that way. I unfortunately do have to sign off here very shortly, but it does look like the National Weather Service is going to allow this severe thunderstorm warning to expire at 8:15. They did update it. They did say it's slowing down here. Back down to 20 miles per hour moving east. Okay, so it's slowed down a little bit. That's not great news for flooding. I have not seen another indication that they're going to issue another flash flood warning, but it does appear that they are going to allow this to expire at 8:15. It seems like the wind threat is diminishing. Good to hear. We have a report out of Sharon, PA that there's a lot of wind. I'll go up that way. I know that's slightly across our state line here, but it looks like there's a little bit of a decent storm across Mercer County, Pennsylvania right now. That's just across the state line from the Youngstown area, so stay safe out there. Thank you for that report. Malta, Ohio, thundering, and things have died down a bit. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that things are improving. We like to hear that as we continue to cover this here. All right, there we go. Okay, well, I think as things seem to be winding down here just a bit, I think we're going to keep an eye on this as an organization at Ohio News and Weather. But if you're in Washington County right now, I would be alert that a strong thunderstorm is heading your way. There is no longer a destructive tag on it. But I would treat this very seriously. A lot of thunder, lightning, and rain. A flash flood warning for Athens County until 10:30. That will continue to be a serious situation. We'll be monitoring things out of Athens County. I do appreciate all of you watching me and us here at Ohio News and Weather. And we will provide more updates when we can. For now, though, we're going to pause our stream.